Hey there, everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to talk about something that I'm sure has crossed your mind more than once. You know, when you see kids who are, well, a bit challenging, lying, misbehaving, not listening to their parents, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What makes a child turn out this way? Were they just born as troublemakers? I don't believe that. I firmly believe that every child starts as a blank canvas, inherently innocent, kind, and generous. But this begs the question, how do people's characters form? I often find myself pondering over what shapes a person, especially a child. We all want our kids to grow up to be successful, right? And by successful, I mean not just in terms of career or money, but as good human beings. I think traits like honesty, patience, and generosity play a huge role in this. Imagine an honest person, they're seen as reliable and trustworthy. They likely have solid relationships and opportunities built on trust. And what about patience? A patient person is likely to be diligent, focused, and able to tackle challenging tasks persistently. And generosity, that's the key to building meaningful connections, both personally and professionally. Now, let's think about the flip side. What happens when these traits are missing? It's not hard to see how lacking honesty, patience, or generosity could close doors. Right? Opportunities might slip away, and relationships might not be as strong or as fulfilling. Speaking of patience, there's this famous study from the 1960s, the Marshmallow Experiment. You might have heard of it. It's often cited to highlight how patience in kids can be a predictor of future success. The gist of it is pretty straightforward. Kids who can wait, who can delay gratification, tend to do better in life. So naturally, we start thinking, okay, we need to raise patient kids. That becomes the goal for many parents, right? But here's where things get really interesting. And this is what we're diving into today. It's not just about a child's inherent character. There's so much more at play, especially the environment they grow up in, and the behavior of the people around them, particularly their parents. The role of a parent or a caregiver is crucial in shaping a child's ability to be patient, honest, and generous. Now we're going to take a closer look at the Marshmallow Experiment. But with a twist, we're going to unravel the often overlooked aspect of this study, the importance of parental support and the environment in developing a child's character. Trust me, this is going to be an eye-opener. So stick around and let's explore this together. And before we dive in, I'm curious, what do you think shapes a child's character the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And let's get this conversation started. Let's start by hopping into our time machine and heading back to the late 1960s at Stanford University. Here, a psychologist named Walter Mischel conducted an experiment that would become a legend in the world of psychology. Picture this: a child is sitting in a room with a single marshmallow placed in front of them. The researcher offers a deal: eat the marshmallow now, or wait for about 15 minutes without giving in to temptation, and you'll get a second marshmallow as a reward. What would you do if you were that kid? Devour it immediately, or wait for the double treat? For years, the results of this experiment were interpreted in a straightforward way. It was believed that the kids who could wait, who showed this incredible self-control at such a young age, were destined for greater success in life. Higher SAT scores, better academic achievements, healthier lifestyles, you name it. The ability to delay gratification, it seemed, was a superpower that could predict how well these kids would fare in the future. That makes sense, right? Patience is a virtue, after all. But wait, fast forward to 2012, and researchers at the University of Rochester decided to put a new spin on this classic experiment. They asked a very interesting question. What if a child's decision to eat the marshmallow or wait isn't just about self-control? What if it's also about how much they trust the person who's making the promise of a second marshmallow? Here's what they did before the Marshmallow Test. They created situations where an adult either kept or broke a promise to the kids. Some kids saw that adults were reliable, while others learned that adults might not always keep their word. And guess what they found? The children who experienced reliable adults were more likely to wait for that second marshmallow. Why? Because they believed the promise that they would get another one. On the other hand, the kids who saw adults breaking promises thought, hey, I better eat this marshmallow now. Because who knows if I'll really get another one? So what does this tell us? It reveals that a child's decision to wait for that extra marshmallow is not just about being patient. It's also about trust. If kids don't trust that the promise will be kept, why wait? This whole marshmallow business teaches us something important about children, and even about ourselves. Our decisions aren't just based on self-control. They're also shaped by our experiences and our trust in others. Before you go, let me ask you, what would you have done as a kid? Would you have waited for that second marshmallow? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting psychology insights. Until next time, keep asking questions and exploring the mind. Now, let me share a bit of a personal story. And maybe you'll see some parallels in your own life. I have a teenage daughter, and like any parent, I'm pretty tuned into who she hangs out with. Here's something that got me thinking. I've heard about some of her friends exhibiting, let's say, not so great behavior. You know, being sneaky, not always truthful. Initially, I thought, maybe it's just a phase or a personal issue. But then, a light bulb went off in my head. After learning more about the Marshmallow Experiment's new twists, what if these behaviors in kids are influenced by their experiences with their own parents? Imagine a kid whose parents often break promises. They say they'll buy candy, but don't. They plan a trip to the amusement park, and then suddenly cancel. They promise a fantastic Christmas gift, but if the kid slips up, no gift. What does that teach a child? It teaches them that promises are flimsy, that adults can be unreliable. So let's circle back to our marshmallow story. If a child learns that adults don't keep their word, why would they wait for a second marshmallow? They're living in the now, not in the maybe. They've learned to grab opportunities immediately because, in their experience, promises are often empty. It's a sad but understandable reaction, isn't it? This realization hit me hard. It showed me the importance of keeping promises to my own daughter. Even the simple ones matter. When I say I'll be at her school event, I'm there. If I promise a toy, I buy it, no ifs, ands, or buts. Sure, there are times when I'm tempted to change my mind, especially if she misbehaves. But I've learned that promises and punishments are separate. Breaking a promise isn't the way to teach a lesson. In the end, it's about building a world of trust for our kids. It's about showing them that their patience and waiting can be rewarded, and that their trust in us is well placed. So what do you think? How important do you believe it is to keep promises to our children? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, if you're enjoying these deep dives into the world of psychology, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Till next time, keep those marshmallows waiting, and more importantly, keep your promises.